As soon as you asked that, I was like, he's going to be upset.
Are you serious?
I've seen Owen Wilson's nose enough in my life. I feel like I didn't need to go back to, 2005? Also, not a big Vince Vaughn guy. I actually like him as a serious actor more. Yeah, I know. Not popular opinions. Apparently, it's a good movie.
Oh, it's like one of the best comedies of all time.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, that's all obviously off the table.
I know the story beats.
Yeah, they crash weddings.
Okay, more intimately than that, but yes.
Whatever. Anyway, would you be a wedding crasher in that sort of situation? If you had the availability, the ability, would you?
Wait, hold on. Okay, maybe I don't have it right. Is it because their friend's getting married and the bride sucks?
Well, that happens later. Just
what
some,
is there?
Some guy that Owen Wilson doesn't like is marrying the girl that he likes, and he stops it.
Oh.
But the first few parts of the movie are them crashing weddings. Like that's what they do.
Okay.
In the summers, like that. Instead of going camping, they go wedding crashing.
Okay. So are you saying for recreation, or would I stop the woman that?
Yeah, no, recreation. Would you be a wedding crasher?
No.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Just in general.
I mean, what kind of satisfaction do you get out of that?
I don't know. I think it would be entertaining for sure.
Oh.
What are you worried about getting caught? Do you just not like weddings?
I just feel like there are better ways to spend your time. I'm not sure.
That's fair.
What aspect of it would be the most deterring for me personally?
I think it would be a challenge.
I mean,
it
would basically turn into a game of Smear the Queer. I feel like there are enough fathers and male figures there. I feel like people are gonna start swinging and
eventually, like you have to be able to like fit in. So like they go to a Jewish wedding and they have to be Jewish and like do the whole normal Jewish thing without being Jewish. And like they went to like a Spanish wedding and like they had to pretend that like they were supposed to be there even though they're white. Those sorts of situations. I think it's essentially just supposed to be kind of like a game.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
All right.
Just putting on costumes and makeup all the time to fit into.
I think it would be interesting.
I'm sure it would be interesting, yeah, but I'm good.
Yeah, I think it would be fascinating. Anyway,
cool.
Let's go ahead and toss that cryptid coin up there.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Might as well. Let's get check it out. I think it's on some sort of marketplace. If I had to guess, Nuke.
He's just said. Steven just said to go to cryptidcoin.io. Apparently, it's like its own website. I don't really know.
Do it now.
Cryptidcoin.io. Oh yeah, there it is.
Interesting color scheme.
Yeah, no, I'm here for it. There it is. Yep. All right, well there you go. Check it out. There it is. Do with it what you will, and
it's a super
go
sick
check
graphic
it out.
though.
What?
I think the graphics are really cool actually.
Oh yeah, no, it is cool. It's unique.
Hold on, is the camera as poorly centered as it is that I'm seeing it on this TV right now? Just out of curiosity.
Might be.
Might be.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that would be.
The audio is the important part.
That would be the standard. So I'm just making sure you guys aren't changing things up.
Yep, we're chilling.
Okay, cool.
Business as usual.
Yeah, business. Yeah, business as usual.
It's probably because I set
talk.
the camera today. So.
Yeah.
Yes, nice. All right, so I guess we can start talking about sports now. Now that we're past the housekeeping stuff. Locker room number 77. I'm your host, Justin Reed, alongside Andrew Tenney. We are in the Holly Mason building, currently occupied by the Spokane Shock. Currently. Yeah, we're here for, like I said, show number 77. Any Mariners players that stand out to you? There's only one.
Is it a notable one? Because I don't know the obscure Mariners.
Recent, as in like last year notable.
Pitcher?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Paxton, was it?
No. Not a bad guess. I mean, there's better guesses. You could get it right.
Is he white?
He is white.
Crap.
He pitched in the Japan League for a couple seasons.
Oh man, I think I know this. Was he around for like the entirety of the season, like when they were going on the stretch in the
starting pitcher?
I'm not gonna be able to get it.
Chris Flexen.
Oh yeah, he was a relief pitcher, right?
No, he was a starter.
Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, he didn't go super long, but yeah, he was in fact a starting pitcher. Seahawks. There's a lot actually. Most famous one, as far as what he did for the Seahawks, was Jeff Bryant. Stud actually. Floyd, Pork Chop Womack was also number 77. Anyone else?
James Carpenter.
James Carpenter was, in fact, number 77.
Ataba Rubin.
Ataba Rubin was, in fact,
What's
77.
Up? Any other previous offensive linemen?
Yeah, there's one right now. There's actually only one player left that is worth mentioning, and he's a current player. Actually, he might be out of contract, but he was a current starter.
Did he? Oh. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Ethan Posick.
Oh, I guess he
crazy,
split time. I wasn't. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
he was supposed to be the starter, got hurt, or he was supposed to at least compete, got hurt. Kyle Fuller stepped in. The thing with Posick that's really fascinating is I thought he sucked when he played. He actually ended up finishing like in the top half of all centers, according to both Pro Football Focus and I think ESPN pass block win ratio.
I think I saw those stats or those numbers too, and
it surprised
they
me.
were very surprising. It was weird because,
I thought he was trash. I thought he was just flat out garbage. But it appears that he was actually above average.
Well, the only thing that helped his case, I feel like, is the fact that Kyle Fuller was actually significantly worse than he was.
I think so. Yeah, I think Kyle Fuller was really bad.
Which I didn't think was possible because Postage had such a low floor anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Again, they got to address that center situation.
They have to address, they have to figure out the Dwayne Brown situation. They have to figure out the center situation. They have to figure out the right tackle situation. The guard positions are set. I think Gabe Jackson is fine. And
there's no reason to address them.
No.
There aren't any glaring weaknesses there.
There's all sorts of moving parts going on right now, and it's about ready to start popping off. I think around March is when things are really going to get rolling, and they're going to figure out because the timeline for them to start putting on the tags, the franchise tags, just opened up, and it looked like the Packers were going to let Devontae Adams test free agency. Was the last rumor I had heard.
I don't know what they're going to do because I feel as if they're waiting for Aaron to do or say something.
Is he going to retire? You saw that post?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to retire.
He didn't use it as past tense. Like it was all like currently, like I appreciate, not I appreciated. Like I appreciate you guys. You're really important. It was also weird that he called out his ex.
Yeah.
Like was super friendly about it, like in a public scene like that. He doesn't seem like that kind of person.
Did you look into the variety of cleanse that he went on and what that cleanse entails?
No, I didn't.
So the part of my take guys were talking about it, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm not sure how accurate it was, but they definitely looked into it, and apparently it involves some sort of like mineral butter or salt butter being consumed rectally. So if he truly cleansed or did the cleanse that he claimed to have done for 12 days, that would have been in the routine, which,
Would you, if it made me a like Hall of Fame, probably the best quarterback of this generation, I'd do some salt butter stuff, techniques.
Yeah.
You're prepared for it.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, butter's not great for your health, dude. You got to be careful. It's all about that.
Big margarine guy, actually.
That's not good. You're probably going to die young.
Can't wait.
What?
Can't wait.
They said I wish, because that's what I would have said.
That's basically what I said.
All right, so this whole Wisconsin-Michigan thing that happened, this was on what, Sunday? I think.
Yeah.
Because I was coming back into town from Coeur d'Alene. So really funky. I don't know, how does Juwan Howard get to be in that position where he's like, the best thing for me to do right now is hit someone in the face?
Well, he hasn't ever done anything to this extent. This is the cherry on top of his coaching career. However, he's been getting some strange, unnecessary, and kind of reckless technicals all season.
Yeah, I think he's super frustrated.
He's super duper frustrated. Yeah. Obviously, Michigan has not had a very good year after they made it to the Elite Eight last year, correct? Mm-hmm. That was the extent of it. And they needed that game in Wisconsin really badly, and he didn't get it, and he just lost his cool. Also, I saw videos of every other interaction post-game that he and Greg Gard had, and it's very typical for coaches to shake the hand and pat the elbow.
Right.
And so, I don't know, people are saying that Greg Gard shouldn't have touched him or tried to impede his movement. I suppose if you are hyper aware in the moment, but of course he has his own stuff going on in his head and he's, offended or, in his own way. And it's just, I feel like he did very little at fault. I'm not saying he's 100% absolved of any sort of responsibility. It takes two to tango, but I do not think he was the instigator.
He didn't even hit Hurd.
He was trying to, I know.
He hit the assistant.
I know.
It's like, I mean, unless he said something brutal, but I doubt it. I mean, it would be pretty stupid to say something. And Howard hasn't said that he was told anything. Yeah, I mean, even in games where GU thrashes St. Mary's, like Few and Randy Bennett, who don't really have an appreciation for each other, like they still a quick little like handshake and they're off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Howard was going to walk right by for whatever reason,
He was.
And I think it just shows that sort of childish behavior. And so I think, I think Wisconsin's coach was just like, I'm going to go for the handshake, and it didn't happen. And he was kind of like in this weird like handshake elbow thing, and he missed the hand because there was no hand, so he kind of like held onto his elbow.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it was more aggressive than that. Didn't appear to be that way for me.
Well, he obviously wanted to say something to him. I don't know if it was truly about him wanting to explain the use of the timeout. I didn't know. We don't know if it was him being like, hey, dude, what the hell is your problem? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Because let's not forget, down, I think it was 15, with 15 seconds left, he was still employing the full court press.
Right.
And so they had 4 seconds left.
And Michigan called the timeout at like with 12 seconds left.
Right. So to, I don't know, use the excuse that he felt disrespected by the timeout or whatever. It's like, dude, everything that you and your team were doing,
like you were really
are the
trying
reason
hard.
for the timeout.
Let's play that video real quick, Connor, just to kind of refresh everything. This is at the end of the
win
game.
it 77-63. And Juwan Howard not going over immediately to shake hands. Now he's going to get in the line. Interesting finish here, 77.
Like literally just nothing. What's super weird about it too is why was Juwan Howard like
also, Juwan grabbed his shirt before Greg really put his hands on him. I mean, he did try to stop him, but.
And then what's really interesting too is Howard didn't really punch the guy.
He mushed him. That's what I didn't even know mushing was a term until this happened.
Yeah, it's almost like
players are pushing and shoving. This is an ugly scene.
I don't know.
This is an ugly scene.
Michigan players obviously.
Well, so it goes back to Howard again, because it wasn't until he threw his hand that the Michigan players, followed suit and started tossing hands and shoving and everything. So
and I can't remember who I was talking to about this, but someone was like, "Well, should the Michigan players be suspended as well, or are they just following their head coach?" And it's like, well, I don't think you can just justify it by, oh, well, their coach did it. Well, I'm going to go beat up this guy as well. I think there should have been some sort of repercussions for the players. And I haven't seen anything. There wasn't, was there?
Not that's come out. Maybe there has been, but obviously the only thing that anybody cares about is what happens to.
I said Hurd earlier. It's guard. But,
it's guard, yeah.
That shows you how much I care about Wisconsin basketball. Worthless. Yeah,
I just thought. Kidding?
The only thing that matters is Gonzaga. The only thing that really the whole situation is just super interesting because you just don't see that this often in any level where the coaches get involved. It's pretty rare.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can think of the last time where a coach. I don't know if I can.
I don't know if I can either. I'm sure there's something out there that we're missing, but also, how do you feel about the population of people that think that they should just eradicate the collegiate post-game handshake?
So I was going to bring that up because that's what I just saw that for the first time. Of course, now it's not here as I'm showing it. It was, Patrick Ewing said that. He wants post-game handshake lines to end. That's what they were saying when COVID started. It's like, we shouldn't be doing these handshakes. Or I
didn't realize this, but I guess some Pac-12 schools, or maybe the entirety of the Pac-12, still do that.
Still what?
Still do not participate in the post-game handshake.
Lame. That's so absolutely lame. Ewing said, I don't like the handshake line. I don't like it because anything is possible. You're just getting through a heated battle, heated game, and anything can happen to make things worse, which is just what happened in that situation. If it's my call, I think just take the handshake line away, just like we did with COVID. You wave by and you move on. I don't know. I
feel like that take is just kind of devoid of any sort of responsibility or accountability for your actions in the heat of moment, which I understand that the heat of the moment and emotional losses and everything, they do increase the likelihood of something, spouting off. I understand that. However, it's still on the individual to I don't know.
I am not someone who's like super on board of sportsmanship. Like I can appreciate it and I understand it. and I usually show it, but there are times where it's like I want nothing to do with the person I just played. But I feel like at least, and I don't know if this is a worldwide thing, but I know for a fact in the United States, it's very common to do, especially from the first time you ever play a sport. You cheer, you huddle up at the end, and then you go and you do handshakes and like you say this nice thing. And it's kind of lame, like when you like do up the alley down the street, who's the toughest team to beat? Like that's stupid. As a kid, you don't really think about it. But I just feel like there's enough history ingrained in those post-game like pontifications together, like to be able to come together and be like, good game. I mean, you don't have to like the guy. You don't have to smile and like be like, dude, God, that was great. I'm so proud of you. Like you don't.
Right.
That's not what it's like. I don't know. It just seems like it's a nice closure to go through it all. I mean, again, hell, you literally don't even have to look at the person. You can literally just hold your hand out and just go walk by. Like, it just seems like it's a good way to end it. Like, appreciate the other team, even if they just destroyed you.
So, yeah, generally I agree. And I don't know if this is silly of me to make this sort of association, but I almost feel like for college in particular, and especially in basketball, obviously they don't really do it in football. There aren't any lines per se.
Right, they just come together.
And it's much more organic in football. Right. You have the whole field, the benches are clearing and the benches, are
you don't have
opposite
fans
sides of the
field.
Right. But I almost feel like it's a representation of the colleges and the universities at that point. And maybe that's not a fair thing, but I almost feel like that's where the respect is being exchanged at the end of competition. But yes, obviously it is the players and the coaches as individuals that are going through it, not the universities themselves, but
I just think it's dumb to even threaten to end that. I don't know. Again, I'm all for hating your opponent. There's nothing worse than losing.
Yeah.
But I still always look forward isn't the right term, but I always just like that's just a nice way to end that sort of again heated battle. Like that's exactly what it is. You just respect the other person even though they just beat you, even though it sucks. Again, I hate sportsmanship.
Just wait until after go to their hotel room and punch them.
Yeah, beat them up on the street. Wear a mask and just do it.
Solved it.
Sticking with college basketball real quick. So this week, GU and Arizona are ranked number 1 and number 2 in the AP poll. Polls don't matter, but it's still fascinating to watch and see.
That's nice for you to say.
It's true, though.
Polls don't matter.
But I will forever and always look at the poll and be like, I want GU to be number 1. And I'll definitely celebrate it. But
and I totally understand
in the
it.
grand scheme, though,
It's such an empty, 100%. It's empty calories. And every time I see it come across Twitter, it's like, oh my God, Gonzaga's back in the number 1. I'm like, okay, great. How about we do something in March? Anyway.
I'll do it every single Monday.
Yes. So glad to hear you actually acknowledge that.
Cool to have them 1 and 2. I think that's really cool. It's like only the 3rd time in the last 30 years or something where a head coach and his previous assistant have occupied number 1 and number 2, which I thought seemed like a lot.
That's, yeah.
I don't know what other situations that would have been, but actually might have only been the last 20 years because I think I was like, right around the turn of the century. So, yeah, I think it's like the last 20 years it's happened 3 times. So I don't know who the other. Maybe it's 3 weeks, which might be a little more interesting. What's kind of fascinating about this situation, very similar teams, both strong on the offensive and the defensive end. They're the only 2 teams, if you're looking at Ken Palm here, they're the only 2 teams in the country with top 10 offensive efficiency and top 10 defensive efficiency. They also both have top 10 adjusted tempo, both like to play really fast. The next closest team to them is St. John's at 66, and the fastest team in the country, tempo-wise. So, they do things differently. They both do it their way. And it would be really cool to see that Final Four matchup.
I wouldn't want to see it.
I don't know. I don't think I would
wouldn't
either.
want to see it.
I really don't think I would either, but it'd be cool.
It would be cool.
I think I would be.
It would be a huge story. That would just be awful if Lloyd went down there, beat him in the Final Four, if not the national championship. Woo!
Imagine if it was the national championship. Yeah. No, I don't want to think about it. All right, let's talk some football. I want to quickly go through. This is a list at ESPN. I didn't have this on the docket, but I want to quickly go through it. These are players that ESPN said need a change of scenery, and I'm going to go through it real quick, and you're just going to say yes or no that you agree with it. Giants, Evan Ingram.
Yeah, that one's been reported for a couple of years, so yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think so too. A lot of talent. But
he's just injured all the time too.
He is. Allen Robinson on the Bears.
Yeah, please free the man. His only quarterbacks have been Mitch Trubisky, Blake Bortles back in Jacksonville, and I guess Nick Foles was in there.
And Justin Fields, but he literally never. They never fit.
Right.
A lot of these people don't really matter. Actually, O.J. Howard kind of matters. I remember when he was drafted a few years ago, and everyone was talking about how much of a study he's going to be because of his athletic profile. He's a big guy too, and he's fast. But
I don't know. Cameron Brate was always the better overall tight end there
for that team, at least.
Down in Tampa Bay. Yeah, I don't.
Jimmy Garoppolo is the obvious one. But I just saw a report yesterday that there's rumors that they might stick with him another year because they don't think Trey Lance is ready.
It sounds like everybody is in consensus with the Trey Lance is not ready, and he's not going to be ready for a while. And people also don't think that his body is going to be able to hold up. So that's another concern. So good on San Francisco for trading all those picks to get up to number 3 and not take any of the other quarterbacks that all look a lot better than Trey Lance at this point in time.
Yeah, no.
Boy, yeah, I saw Derek Carr, or it was a proposition. It wasn't a rumor, but the Steelers potentially trading for Derek Carr, and I was kind of like, oh, I kind of like that.
Yeah, I could see.
I don't mind Derek Carr.
I could see the Steelers making a play for a quarterback, like as in like a current starter.
Well, if they roll into the season with Mason Rudolph, I mean, that's disrespectful to the community of Pittsburgh, honestly.
Yeah, Myles Garrett would like that. Jarvis Landry should probably be moved. He hasn't really done much there. Both he and OBJ. Baker Mayfield just isn't that great.
No, he's not. No.
Marlon Mack, but again, a lot of these guys are like injury prone, so I think it's more like they've outworn their welcome.
Yeah.
Melvin Gordon, that seems stupid. Frank Clark, hey, back to Seattle.
I don't need any more misdemeanors or felonies or whatever.
No, we don't. So the thing that I did want to talk about is, did you see the NFL and the XFL create that partnership?
I did, and I was actually surprised to see it. I thought it was one of those Twitter takes.
I also was surprised. It's cool that essentially, so Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is one of 3 owners of the XFL. If you look at a guy and then a capital partner. Anyway, I think he's the driving force because of it. Without him at the helm, I think the XFL doesn't have this deal get done.
Yeah.
Essentially, the NFL and the XFL announced a partnership to try out new rules, new techniques, new technology, and to see how it would work in a semi-professional setting, to see if it would translate well to the NFL.
Basically deploying it like the minors and or the G League for the NBA.
Exactly. But it's not going to be considered a developmental league. So that's where the only difference is that these are going to be kind of like the indoor football league. People pretend that the indoor football league is going to give them a chance to take the next step. Anyone who plays in the indoor football league will never play in the NFL ever.
Probably not. Yeah.
Ever. Sorry, Sawyer.
Yeah, that's why I was like.
Actually, okay. To be fair, honestly, the only people who could potentially make an NFL roster in the IFL would be kickers.
Yeah.
Literally, it goes kickers and then a giant gap of nobody, and then every other player on that roster.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen, and it won't. They're all undersized, and they all don't have they're just not nearly good enough. That's just the way that it is. Anyway, the XFL will be essentially a bona fide indoor football league. They'll be playing outdoor, playing in 100 yards, but it's not a developmental league. They're going to be doing a lot of different things as far as kickoffs, trying to find different rules, trying to see how different technology and reviews would happen. And both seem really excited about it, and they looks like this will happen next year is when the XFL will actually happen. And I don't know. The only issue I have with it is that, again, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and his partners are much larger than most of the other people who have tried to do the XFL. I mean, Vince McMahon last year was a big one, but again, doesn't have the same oomph as The Rock. But I just think eventually, I mean, you're seeing it happen in the IFL and all the other semi-pro football leagues. Eventually, too many, and you get just watered down entertainment. And I think that's the problem. I feel like with baseball, there's a lot of guys who are good enough to be decent to watch. But I feel like in football, you have to be really good.
I agree with that to make it a watchable product.
Right.
Yeah.
And same with the NBA is also similar to basketball or baseball. G League and the other leagues that the NBA does. I think
there are enough athletes and enough people with a floor of skill that makes for something entertaining to watch. But yeah, I mean, even just look at NFL preseason, it's like, Jesus Christ, you know, it's not.
It's rough sometimes.
Terrible. So yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Also, just Connor, I kind of want you in on this too. How do we feel about The Rock?
Go ahead.
I like The Rock.
Why?
He can be a little much sometimes.
But
his social media presence is like a lot.
Okay.
I feel like we're very saturated with Rock content, though. He's kind of like everywhere, and it gets a little annoying.
Okay, we've been oversaturated with The Rock content since like 2010, 12. I mean, it's been almost a decade of doing this, and He's super vanilla. I don't feel like he has any acting chops or is looking to make or take
No, I
any
don't think
roles
so.
in which he would have to actually exhibit actual acting skill. And I don't know if I said this last week or not, that intro that they did for the Super Bowl
Yeah, I
where
didn't really like it.
that was the cheesiest shit that I've
That was
seen in my
pretty
life. And
bad.
that was the biggest
No, that
turnoff
was pretty
right
bad.
before.
Yeah.
Terrible. We need him less. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He seems to be just like any other okay Hollywood person, but we could do a little less. It's fine. It's okay. We have other people. We don't need him for everything.
Yes.
I would be fine if we did as much rock as we have now. If Kevin was with him, if Kevin Hart was with him.
He and Kevin Hart are funny.
Because Kevin Hart
yeah.
and Rock together are pretty funny. But when it's just The Rock, I see what you're saying. It's like, okay, you're like.
I do enjoy myself a good Rock movie.
Okay.
I do. I like his. He does seem like a good guy. He seems like just a down to earth good guy.
Totally.
But yes, there can be too much Dwayne running around.
Okay. That's all right. Yeah.
But
Thank
I
you.
will push back. I think in the sense that I can appreciate his one avenue acting. He knows what he does well and he does it. He's an action guy and he works well in comedies because he's kind of clumsy. He's kind of just like an awkward kind of guy.
I don't really
Clumsy?
think he works super well in comedies, honestly.
I don't. So I don't think he's funny.
No. I don't
Yeah.
think he's funny.
I liked him in Jumanji.
I don't know.
I think it was the ensemble that worked in Jumanji more so than just Dwayne independently.
I think he was fine in Jumanji. He wasn't like a standout, but I don't know if that's like really. I'm not thinking of that movie as a comedy. Honestly.
Yeah,
It's like funny, but it's kind of like I don't know, adventure-y.
All right,
It's like
here
an
we go.
adventure
We're gonna
comedy,
go.
I guess.
We're gonna go since we're bringing it up. We're gonna go down a couple movies here. I don't know. You had a voice cameo, Free Guy. Interesting.
I can't remember. It's like, there's the movie where he's like super fat at the beginning of it, and then he's like a spy.
CIA.
Oh yeah.
That movie was garbage.
Yeah,
with
hot-
The Rock.
hot
And
garbage.
that's what I'm thinking of.
It was, but again, like it was designed for him. Like he was supposed to be an awkward guy.
Actually, you know what I like him the most in was Get Smart, and that was a
Oh, yeah.
long
That
time
was
ago.
what,
That
like
was like
2010?
2007.
I completely forgot about that movie
2008.
actually until just now.
Yeah.
That's a
Agent
genuinely
23.
funny movie.
That's
Okay.
a good movie.
So Hobbs and Shaw action movie. You know what you're gonna get. I'm
Right.
fine with those. They're gonna make them every couple of years, and they're gonna be fine because they're just crazy. Things crazy happen.
Right.
Skyscraper, Rampage, both are exactly the same, and again, a ton of action. That's fine. Baywatch was a poor attempt at a recreation, but
Really, really bad.
but
It was really
they did
bad.
exactly what Baywatch was, though.
yes,
That's
it
the
was
thing.
terrible.
Right. Again, The Fate of the Furious.
It's got like
exactly.
San Andreas in there.
Central Intelligence, San Andreas again. He was Hercules.
Journey.
A lot of action. He wasn't in it very long, but I liked him in the other guys. Tooth Fairy. He was a good Tooth Fairy.
That movie is just not
The Game
great.
Plan.
I like that
Disney
movie
movie.
because I think I was like 10 at the time.
2007.
I was 10 at the time.
Yeah, that was fine. Walking Tall. That was a great movie.
I don't think I've ever even heard of that.
Yeah, me neither.
This is what it looks like. You might recognize
So I guess he does. I
weren't
guess he
very
does
old,
do one
27.
thing really well, but the one thing that he does really well is be like just okay. So he's just okay in everything.
Yeah.
He is, but I think it's his. Yeah, that's fine. Anyway, I think The Rock is above average when he doesn't oversaturate himself, like with the.
I'm just saying that I think it's okay, and we are past due to pivot as a culture and society around or past The Rock, and maybe bring in somebody else to do every single thing. That's all I'm saying. We can move on.
Like
We've
John
been-
Cena.
God,
All right,
Oh yeah, why do you hate John Cena so much?
he's just soft.
He had a really bad interview with Pardon My Take, and he was really morbid and depressed because his friend had died a couple days before, and of course, Pardon My Take is satirical, and they're making fun of literally everything, including the guest that comes on, and he just shouldn't have done the interview. He should have let him know, and then he basically chastised and lectured them about the fragility of life, and it was just it was disgusting. Anyway, so.
All right, Windermere. Connor, you buying a house when you move?
Probably an apartment, but I will need to move into a first home at some point.
I hope so.
When that point comes.
When that point comes, if
Maybe
you're
I'll just live in a
the
dumpster.
Northwest.
I don't know.
Well, Or are you going to be living in eastern Washington, Idaho, eastern Oregon, or Montana?
It's entirely possible.
All right, there we go. That's what I needed to hear. Well, you should utilize Windermere Services Mountain West because they proudly service over 60 Windermere offices in those places I just said, eastern Washington, Idaho, eastern Oregon, and Montana. They are all in for their local communities, including those that Connor may or may not live in. At Windermere Services Mountain West, relationships are the foundation of their business. Their mission is to be successful, team-oriented real estate professionals committed to exceeding expectations through exceptional customer service. They are Windermere. Windermere Services Mountain West is committed to Connor and his fiance, in which everywhere that they live and work, they are all in for them. And you. What's your name?
What's my name?
What's her name?
Her name's Chloe.
C-H-L-O-E?
Oh, that was the Chloe. Got it.
Chloe and Connor. Yeah.
Nice.
C-C.
CC. And they all have the same initials too. Which
Where?
is wild.
Wow. Match made.
What's the middle one?
What do you mean?
The middle initials
middle
match
initial?
is it?
Oh no, hers is an N. Mine's a C. Another C.
CCS, CNS.
Yeah.
All right, what are your guys' full
CNS.
names?
Can I get your social security?
I was gonna say, could you
number
throw that in there too?
and
Yeah.
Fine, what's her middle name? Because I know.
credit card. It's Noelle, actually. So she loves Christmas.
That's acceptable.
Yeah.
My dad's middle name is Noel.
That's
It's-
unacceptable.
It's actually Noel, like N-O-E-L.
We actually had a
Noel.
guy on yesterday who spelled his name like Noel, but his name was Noel.
Right.
So he would get that all the time.
Like Chuck
and
Noll.
I think Kent pronounced it wrong about
Knox.
4 or 5 times before he got it right. That was pretty funny.
Yeah,
That happens.
that sounds about right.
That
Yeah.
happens. All right, let's talk about this NBA All-Star game for a few minutes. I didn't watch it. I was busy. I was not in town. I was in Coeur d'Alene. What's really funny about it is that the Daytona 500 smashed their ratings.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty funny. Not surprising. at all.
Daytona beat the same-day coverage of the Olympic closing ceremonies as well. And let's see here. Yeah, so Daytona beat the NBA All-Star game by over 41%, the largest gap between the two events in 5 years.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm so out on the actual All-Star games across all sports. I enjoy the festivities and the events that happen around them.
That's why you watch.
But the NBA has the best All-Star game.
Oh, 100%, because it's the easiest
all
game
just
to play a
offense.
pickup game of.
Yeah, exactly.
Basketball is
exactly
the
right.
easiest sport to just be
And
like, hey, do you
football's
guys
the
want to play?
hardest.
Yeah.
That's why football's
right.
the worst.
That's
'Cause
why it doesn't work.
The MLB All-Star game is better than the NFL Pro Bowl.
100%.
And it's because of that. Again, it's a lot easier to have backyard baseball than it is even. Except the only issue that and MLB needs to look at this. I think the MLB All-Star game could really utilize pitchers who don't try as hard. Like when the game ends 3-2, it's like sick.
Yeah.
So I just got another game of the exact same thing I watch all season. Thank you. At least the Pro Bowl is different in that regard. So that could really be utilized. But the NBA All-Star game does have some excitement. LeBron's now, 5-0 since they started picking teams? I think I
Yeah,
saw.
as a GM, yeah.
Yeah.
He has his resume with his 5-0 All-Star
Right.
game GM record.
The best part is when they're picking teams and
Oh, dude.
KD could pick Harden or who was the other
It
guy?
was Rudy Gobert, who
Rudy
is
Gobert.
absolutely despised by almost every single NBA player.
And then KD was like, he tried to justify. He's like, we could, my team could really use some height. Instead of picking James Harden, his ex-teammate at the time. And
then LeBron was like, well, I'll take James. James playing, James healthy. And then Chuck's like, James just got traded.
Yeah.
He's healthy now.
He's
and
healthy,
then
yeah.
Kevin Durant was trying not to laugh the entire show.
Yeah.
Just because
And LeBron had his clipboard, so he was able to cover his mouth. 'cause he
right,
was
his face,
laughing.
and he finally cracked after Chuck said that and was like, yes.
And what's injury? And then Harden didn't even play.
Right, shocker.
Yeah, which is super crazy. So, the NBA All-Star game. LeBron hit the game winner, right?
Hit the game winner. Steph was the
Steph had-
MVP. Steph had 50. Was it 50 on the dot? I think it was 50 on the dot, but
think
he was
so.
16 of 27 from 3. He hit like 4 or 5 logo threes. He was just pulling up. He was turning around and heading back on defense before most of them. It was really incredible.
It was so stupid, dude. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
16 threes, 50 points.
And I mean, ever since they introduced the Elam ending, it is compelling, at least at the end, because people actually start trying.
Right.
So I do think that's actually been a really nice addition for the NBA All-Star game. And it seems like they're going to start testing that out. If they do end up bringing in a mid-season tournament for the NBA, you could see it there. I'm sure they're going to tinker with it in the G League at some point. But Overall, it was really entertaining. I mean, this one in particular, and I was telling you guys this before the show, but it was more so a celebration because they had all of the members of the NBA 75 team there. And so during halftime, they just, rolling these guys out into the middle of the court, and everybody had, their time in the light and standing ovations, and it was really awesome to see.
Tweet?
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
I went on my phone just like you are doing now.
I got the notification. I'm like, what? That's why it threw me off. All right, continue.
I don't even remember what I was saying. Everybody had their moment to shine. Michael Jordan was faded. He must have been, because he's never been that happy around so many people in his life, or he just hit the biggest parlay of all time. I'm not sure which. But it was really cool to see him just going up, dapping around all the guys that, are the current stars. It was just cool because it was more of a celebration of the history rather than just strictly an all-star game. So there was something additive.
The Celtics going to make the playoffs?
Yeah, they're the 6th seed, man. They're turning around. They went 9-1 in their last 10 games. They have the #1 defensive efficiency. And, they're going to break my heart at some point, but
it happens.
The point is not now.
All right, let's hop over to that website and let's scroll through these jerseys, and we're going to give an in or out on the new 2022 MLS jerseys.
I actually just went ahead. I just snipped it. I guess you have a JPEG of it.
Oh, of the top of the.
Yeah.
Well, here, go ahead. Can you pull up the website?
Sure.
Yeah, pull up the website. And let's scroll through them.
I miss Sam.
Are you serious, dude?
Screw you, man.
God, I can't believe you.
I hope you're having fun at your bachelor party, man.
Yeah, let's go with that.
I'll put them up
Shoot the shit for 30 seconds while you figure this out.
Well, I'm.
I guess you overlay it, maybe. You guys could stay on. Let's see if this works.
All right, let's.
I always stay on. Whoa.
Kind of. No. Screw it.
Goddamn.
You tried. I
Let's do that.
appreciate the attempt.
There we go. Okay.
Here. Are these in order?
This is how it was on the website.
Let me see here.
Are we starting top left?
Yeah, here you go.
Okay.
So we all can actually see. I can figure out what the heck is
This is great audio content right now.
All right, here we go. Here, can you just go to the link? Actually.
Yeah, I'm out of here right
Yeah, go to the link and then we'll scroll just so that then we can see the team, because I'm looking at the crests here and I'm trying to figure out what the crests are, and it's going to take me way too long. The Sounders last year was really good overall because they had that Jimi Hendrix one, and they don't this year. Granted, that wasn't their primary kit, but still, we'll see if they're able to come up with anything. But it's not quite the same. As far as there we go. Okay, yeah, go ahead and scroll. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Okay, let's start here. That is just what I needed. Actually, keep going down to Atlanta. I don't know why they're showing those like that. One more. There we go. So that's Atlanta.
In.
Out.
What?
There's nothing.
Okay, next one.
Yeah. In.
Out.
I love.
All right.
I think it's pretty bad.
Thank
Honestly.
you. Okay.
It's
it's
mint
clean.
chip ice
it's clean.
cream.
And I like Yeti. All right, next.
Probably in.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of old school.
I think I'm out.
I think it's just fine. It's all right.
Okay.
It looks like soccer.
Oh, they show their away kit too. Just skip that. I don't care.
Out.
Actually looks good. I actually prefer that.
I do like black usually.
Out.
So this one's kind of interesting. I do know what this one's about. So in the background's their water tower. It's the only thing that survived their big great fire that they had in their city. It's like there is a story behind it, and I like their new crest. I'm in. I like history stuff like that.
Okay. Out.
Okay.
Out.
So in.
out.
Really?
Dude, no, that's
This
a
is
disgusting
This is the
color
first time that
combination.
FC Cincinnati has used an orange jersey in their
Orange is bad.
one of their main color in for
Out.
sure. So this one's cool too. So can you see? So those lines there, those are actually Rocky Mountain peaks. I think I'm in on that.
Out.
Okay.
Out.
Out. Yeah, out.
Okay.
I like black and red usually. It's pretty hard to screw up black and red. I'm in on that.
I could do that. Looks very oppressive.
Out.
Out. Big out.
Yeah, not interested in that. That one here. Can you see that detail, that design? Here you go.
Why is cancer crossed out?
That's the that's the business name. That's what the design looks like here. Look over here.
Got you. No, yeah.
I think I'm in.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I'm in on that.
I could.
So this next one's interesting. I'm probably in because of the collars. I'm a big collared soccer jersey guy. So I'm in on that.
Yep, in.
Thoughts on the collar, Connor?
I do like it. I actually specifically like it with the pink. The pink and the black is a good color combo, and I think that it works.
I agree with that.
But it does give off a little bit of a rich boy vibe.
Yeah, I can see like a frat boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
like my daddy bought this team.
Yeah, and a little bit of a polo. Or not
Soccer's
polo,
kind of a rich boy
little
sport.
bit of a
rich person sport.
rugby. That's what I'm trying to
Oh,
think
yeah,
of.
there you go. It does
Kind of
give
rugby
off a little bit of rugby
But I like
vibes.
rugby jerseys, so.
Yep. Can you see the detail on that?
Yeah.
I think I'm in. I think that's cool.
I do too. It kind of gives me like 2012 Great Gatsby poster board.
And that's kind of what they're going for, is that kind of date.
Is this LA?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I think I'm in on that.
All right. Out. There's nothing special about this at all. It's very boring.
Wow.
I hate Target. Out.
You hate Target?
I have no interest in Target.
Are you ever going to be able to get a girlfriend?
I've bought
again with that take.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I will attend Target. The only things I've ever bought from Target in my entire life that aren't just like things that don't matter. I have the 2 towels that I currently use that I rotate through.
Cool.
And the last sheets that I owned.
Okay, very, very practical purchases.
Out.
I think I'm in. Yeah.
I am in on this next one. I just think it's cool. It's like a granite countertop, like marble.
It's busy in a bad way. No, I'm out.
It almost reminds me of like the 90s McDonald's cups.
Oh yeah, I can see
Just a
that.
little
But
bit.
not cool.
But not cool, yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Nope.
No.
No. Nope.
No. Nope.
Abs.
That's
wow.
terrible.
Wow.
That's brutal.
Whoa.
So it's not the worst.
They're sponsored by Dude Wipes too. Damn. Okay. I might. Ultimately, no. But shout out Dude Wipes.
You know, it's hard because their parent company they also in Man City. I have a toe in. I'm very neutral, but I have one toe in because I kind of think it's very unique. Like they're going for it. Like this is, I mean, it's their away jersey, so they're not going to wear it all the time. But I think I'm partially in.
The design is cool, but the orange and
It's a hard contrast for
it's
sure.
a bad.
It would be a better alternate than away. I like checkerboard on soccer jerseys.
I do too. I wouldn't like this on myself because I don't like red on myself. But yeah, overall,
I think I'm in. I think I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think out. I like the idea.
It's very
the colors.
passive.
Yeah, the colors are boring.
Absolutely not. This is.
It's a very
hot
classical
garbage.
look, and I don't like that classical.
Okay.
Look.
Yeah. Cool. Same.
So this one, the next one's kind of interesting. So.
Rose City.
Yes.
God damn.
So that's where I'm struggling. It's Portland, so I want to just say no. It's kind of interesting.
Also, if you think about a rose, I feel like the city of Portland and everything it encapsulates is so anti what a rose represents. And I know that there's a correlation there. I'll be honest. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the history of it is. But I could not think of a more poor, representation for a city. No, they need like...
They are sponsored by TikTok, interestingly enough. It's on their shoulder.
They need like, I don't know, like spores or ivy or something.
Just garbage. just piles
well,
of
if you want to go
garbage.
that way. Yeah, if you want to go that way. Dandelions. How about that?
Yeah, there we go. That'll work.
It's kind of pretty, but the roots of it, gross.
Yeah,
okay.
not
they're kind of cool, but...
Yeah, they are kind of cool, but I'm going to say no.
I think it's called the Rose City because there was this guy in Portland who like went through this massive regrowing of roses effort, and that's why they call it the Rose City. It's like not very cool.
Yeah, it's lame.
Guys should have headed a little bit further north.
No.
This is awful. Why? No.
That's boring.
No.
Yep, also out.
No.
It could be better, but I don't like it. So, okay. So let's come back to that. We'll finish with the Sounders.
Okay. Okay. All right.
No.
I'm very lukewarm on it.
It's boring.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind that. I
Sure.
kind of like the two-tone look like that. I think if they could have made the BMO like fit, not crossing the lines, I think that would have been better.
Well, they're splitting the O, 2 halves.
I know, but it's the same color. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Vancouver everyone always really likes this one. I'm not really sure why.
Same.
I don't really like it. All right, let's go back up to Seattle. Seattle never has a bad jersey because I think their color scheme is unique enough. So this isn't bad. But the combination of Zulily, which is just horrid, absolutely horrid, combined with a partial checkerboard, I think this jersey would be sick if those checkers were everywhere.
Yeah, I wish they committed more to the. Yeah, I agree. If it were everywhere, I also would be curious if the colors were inverted. If it were green checks and the blue was the rest, I almost wonder if I would like that more.
So the reason why, okay, I see what you're saying. So the reason why it's designed like this allegedly is it pays homage to the stadium-wide tifo that they did before the 2019 MLS Cup that they won in Seattle, where the entire fans were handed differentiating blue and green squares at their seats, and then they all put it up. And it was like a stadium-wide thing. It was really cool. You had to be there.
Cool.
So I guess that's what Sounder at Heart said. The club didn't announce that, but I again, this jersey is not bad because the blue and green just work.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not my favorite Sounders.
I will say they have one of, if not the strongest crests.
They do. They're looking at changing it, I think.
Damn.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, I don't know why. I also like the Sounders crest. All right, cool. Jabroni.
I got 2 per usual. It seems like I do this all the time. Both of them are just tweets. They're not exact. Like I don't have like one individual person that's a jabroni. It's just like the concepts or the ideas of the tweet. So roll with whatever you got first. Oh yeah. Okay. So I mean, we've made fun of Adam Schefter plenty of times before on the show, and this came out, and I had been off the internet, Twitter in particular, for a few hours, and I opened this up, and I saw this. And for at least 1 second, I was like, holy shit. He actually did it. I was like, oh my God. Because it's like, it's not out of his wheelhouse at this point. He overreaches into so many other industries at this point of his career beyond football. So I guess Schefter and his antics.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I like the comment as well.
Yeah, pretty good.
Next one. Yep.
There was another one.
In your email?
Yeah, it says no, separate email, dog.
Oh well, here go
ahead.
I'll do mine because mine will have a little bit of discussion. So if you haven't been following Spokane sports recently, a lot of developments with the Spokane Shock. They do have their office below us. They're on the first floor. It's like the first thing you see when you first come into the office. They are facing a lot of difficulties as far as their funding. Owner Sam Adams, who has played for multiple NFL franchises, owned a couple. Did you know this, by the way? So he owned the Everett Hawks, who were founded the exact same year as the Spokane Shock in 2006. They folded 2 years later. And he also is a partial owner for the Cincinnati, whatever their mascot was, and also an indoor football team. Co-owned with Ken Griffey Jr., and that team failed. If you co-own a franchise with Ken Griffey Jr., arguably the most popular athlete of the 90s, something's up. In my opinion. Now that, again, coming from a point where I don't know, I probably shouldn't say, but it just seems very interesting that is the case. So the Shock have 3.5 hours, actually, to secure a $128,000 security bond to pay off the arena and to essentially lock in their place for indoor football this season. Did you see what the deadline was yesterday? You saw that?
Yeah.
Initially?
Yeah.
And then, so essentially what happened, 5-ish business days ago, Sam Adams signed it on Tuesday night, and the arena didn't sign it until the next morning, and he was like, oh, I thought that meant 5 days from when the arena signed it. So it got pushed back to today at 5 p.m. If it happens, it doesn't. So my jabroni right now, I'm just going to say the situation. sucks for Shock fans, for the city, because the Shock have a really storied history. Of the 13 years that the Spokane Shock have been a franchise, they've only missed the playoffs twice. Mm-hmm. Pretty darn good for how volatile the Indoor Football League, Arena Football League 2, all these different indoor leagues, how they always come and go, teams come and go. Shock have actually been fairly constant, even when they went through their own brand change with the Empire. They still made the playoffs one of the 2 years they were the Empire. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, again, they're not – fans here appreciate and expect good football. So it's just a bad situation for all involved. We'll have more information here coming out at 5 p.m. Also, check it out on the spokesmanreview.com. There's going to be all sorts of fun stuff in the newspaper tomorrow.
Sick plug.
Yep, you're welcome. Read my stuff.
Did you find the other email?
No, I only have one from you.
You idiot. Yeah. And by it, I'm you, sorry. I mean, no, not you. You're fine. Andrew's the idiot. What was it? Was it worth anything?
I don't remember.
You must not have sent it.
All right. I have is the Barstool one.
That's fine. We'll move on to this day in sports history. Birthdays. Honus Wagner. If you were alive, you'd be 148.
Jesus.
So I don't think he's alive anymore. Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, turns 70. He turns 84. Have you ever read his book, Shoe Dog?
No.
In the process of reading it. Pretty good, actually. Really fascinating stuff. He went out on a whim to Japan, because they make cheap stuff, and said, hey, let's do this. Let's do this in America. We don't have anything like this, and that's where I'm at.
Okay.
But he traveled around the world and then ended up in Japan and decided to tell them his big idea.
We will be expecting updates.
Yep. I'll give you my nice non-plagiarized synopsis. You know I got caught plagiarizing in high school?
Did you? Well,
like
that's
bad.
Actually not
like
shocking.
Caught.
Whoa.
Yeah. So what happened, really funny, I'll tell this story real quick. Okay, to be fair, I'm not the only one. We all went, and somehow we all would do this. Somehow, and I was smart about it. So there was this one assignment I didn't have time to do. We had lunch, and the class was next. So I went into our ASB room. I went on the computer, and I went like 7 pages deep in Google. I was like, there's no way anyone else is going to be using this. Copied, pasted, whatever. Stupid thing. Everyone in high school does this, so anyone who's watching, don't look at me like that way. Everyone cheats.
Yeah.
Copied, pasted it, turned it in, whatever. Next day comes, walking to the room, and one of my friends walks out, and she's like, it's always going to be a weird day. I'm like, what do you mean by that? Like, she's like, just, you got to experience it. I'm like, that's a really weird thing for you to tell me, before I walk into my AP Lit class. All right, so I walk in, and I could just tell, there's something in the air. There's something going on. And I was already a little nervous about, just because I never just directly copied and pasted like that before. Usually, you would paraphrase. You'd be smart about it.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm feeling a little weird. We did a word of the day, and our teacher, bless her heart, I love Miss Ringgold. She put on the word of the day. The word of the day was integrity. And I looked up, and I saw that, and I'm like, uh-oh. That's not me. That's obviously not me. And we sat overheads. She took there was a few of us. She clipped it, and she put it on the overhead. She said, all right, can someone read this for me? They read it. It was like 3 sentences. And they're like, all right, can you now read this? And she had the URL at the top. She put it right above it on the overhead. All right, can you now read this? Word for freaking word. The exact same thing. And I'm sitting, I'm like, that's my assignment. And I'm looking at the other person who I knew. I was like, that's your assignment too? Cool. All right. And so she was like, all right, I'm not going to call anybody out, but after class, if this was you, please come talk to me. Of course, I had the integrity to do it then. So nice. I walked up.
Nice.
But yeah, I got detention for an evening. That's not where I belonged. The people who in detention are not where I belong.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I had lunch detention in middle school once.
Yeah, I had lunch and after and evening detention. It was weird.
Yeah.
I did not like it. I thought I was going to be in much worse position. I go talk to the principal and everything, and I was fine.
That's what it was like for me. I did one trimester my senior year of high school of a non-AP or honors class, and I walked in and I saw the demographic of student that was in those kind of classes. I was like, oh my God.
You're like, wait a second.
I was like, I don't know any of these people, nor do I want to. Yeah, so I know that feeling.
Yep, yeah, it was not fun. Also born on this day in 1970, Jeff Garcia.
Has not aged well.
No. And 7 years later, the great Floyd Mayweather was born.
Cool.
Yep. And the only thing that was interesting on this day in sports history, in 1917, Red Sox sell Smokey Joe Wood with his arm dead, that's literally what it says, at the age of 26 to Cleveland for $15,000. And then I looked him up. I guess he threw harder than anybody else ever had at that point. He would throw as hard as he could for 2 or 3 innings, but his delivery put so much strain on his arm. He had a speed of at least 6 miles per hour faster than anyone else measured.
Whoa.
But when tested in 1917, he already had a career-ending injury. So that sucks. But I love his name, Smokey Joe Wood. Sold for $15,000.
Cool name.
It was. All right. Closing time. What do you got for me?
Do you have the video, or are you going to tell me that I didn't email it to you?
I didn't send you anything.
The closing time?
You must have sent it to Sam.
I got the receipts right here, dog.
You must have typed in his email wrong. You got my email.
Okay.
I got the one tweet.
I fucked up.
Yeah!
Yeah, there we
Nice.
go. There we
I take
go.
it back. My apologies.
Nice receipts, dude.
So it was the video of Mike McDaniel, new head coach for the Dolphins, and
Black coach?
yeah, yeah.
Thanks.
Well, yeah. The reporter had a little fun question. It was the PG version of FMK. And so all 3 of his former, so it was Zach Taylor, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan. And he answered it without skipping a beat. And he had his reasons for all of them. And I was just thinking to myself, and I think this is what the post said too, but what other head coach in the league is going to entertain that type of question
Not many.
and be cool with it
Not many.
and actually give the intended answer back?
Right.
So shout out to Mike McDaniel.
He's cool.
Holding it down.
He's cool. He's worth it.
Yep. He had earrings when he was 20, so pretty sick.
All right, well, we have different definitions. All right. My closing time, tiny little discussion. Who are you picking number 1 overall in fantasy next season?
If I get the number 1 pick.
Yep. Would you like to see a top 10 rankings?
Yeah, I saw those.
Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, Cooper Kupp, Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams, Dalvin Cook, Najee Harris, Justin Jefferson, Alvin Kamara.
Probably Najee.
Really?
Yeah.
With no quarterback?
Yeah. Volume. The thing is, I trust his limbs and his health more. All the other running backs at this point, I don't trust to give you any more than,
I think Derrick Henry you can. I think that was fluky.
Yeah, but I also feel as if Derrick Henry's decline is going to come at some point.
It will have to, right?
Yeah. So, Najee, I got sentimental ties.
What about Jonathan Taylor? He hasn't really been hurt.
I would do it. I don't want a
Best
cult
offensive line?
player. They're just everything about that franchise, colors, everything, especially without Andrew Luck there. I'm just like, eh. So it's those stupid little things that you do because it's your team and you are the GM. And it's like, no, I don't want an Indianapolis Colt on my team. Like, screw that.
Cooper Kupp will be in that discussion.
Yep.
I don't think I could.
He's going to regress.
Oh, he has to.
Yeah.
He has
He's
to.
gonna
Matthew
regress.
Stafford, yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
God, the fact they won the Super Bowl, I shouldn't have even said his name. That just upsets me. Oh, God, I don't think I do. I think it would probably be Jonathan Taylor because there is volume. There's not much tread worn off, and Najee could be up there. But I also think you have to assume that these guys will stay more healthy. I mean, Austin Eckler wasn't really hurt. He had a couple weeks like usual. Dalvin is always a massive question mark. I just don't know if I could ever pick Dalvin Cook.
No, you can't.
Alvin Kamara is a stretch too.
Nope.
But for number 1, I think it really would come down to Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And I think you could probably say Derrick Henry to me, and I would agree at this point.
I wouldn't do it.
I think I would.
Okay.
See, the problem is, don't listen to my advice, because whoever I pick in the first round is going to get hurt. So if I do my fantasy draft before you, and I pick someone and you ask who it was, and I tell you, don't pick him, because he will get hurt. I could pick a guy who's never been hurt in his entire career, and he'll find a way. Derrick Henry, and he'll find a way to get hurt. He'll find a way to miss 14 weeks.
See, okay, with that caveat, it is Najee Harris.
Until I pick him.
Don't do that.
I will. All right. Thanks for stopping by. We will see you again next week. Is that the first? No. January. February only has 28 days.
No, it's the 3rd.
The 3rd. And Andrew. Sam will be back. Right, Connor?
Thankfully, yes.
Oh,
yes,
nothing
he
went
will.
wrong. Andrew's the one who screwed it up. He screwed you.
No, I'm still mad about the camera. It's very not centered.
I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, I know. I'm aware.
Well, now people actually are aware because you mentioned it again. So thanks, dude. Made our whole show ruined.
You bet.
You're welcome.
We're all
All
just
right.
trying to make each other better around here.
Always get better every day. All right, we'll see you next week.